last week we talked about God, I am, consciousness, and how everything lives and moves within it. We are here because God or consciousness has decided to forget who it is, to imagine it is you, it is me, it is everything that there is in this world. And to consciously manifest whatever you want, we have to reverse engineer this process. And we are going to talk about this today. But before we get into it, hello everyone, if you're new here, my name is Al, and welcome to my channel. If you're in need of coaching, go to my description box, all information is there. But right now, let's get into today's topic. First of all, I'd like to go through something that I have heard a couple of times. And it is that Neville never said that we have to work on ourselves. And I want to remind you of something. Neville was born in 1905. That generation went through 2 world wars, a Great Depression, and a pandemic and other stuff. And that was not the generation of you have to talk about your feelings, you have to dig deep and stuff like that. If we are serious about that, it isn't until very recently that people started getting comfortable with going to a psychologist, talking about their emotional struggles, okay? That generation of Neville was more like, you have to get over it. So it's no surprise to me that he would not talk about, you have to go through everything that is going on within you. Although, if you pay attention, he talked about this. He talked about changing your conception of yourself. You can only change your conception of yourself if you know about your beliefs. Many beliefs are subconscious, and he knew that, okay? So when he talked about you have to change your self-concept, you have to work on your self-concept, there is no one else to change but you. He's saying that. So guys, apologies, it's going to be a bit dark from now on, or at least for a while, because the sun was just above me and I have a skylight. So it was kind of weird lighting, and now I have it half closed. But I hope the quality is okay. So, how do we change our conception of ourselves? We work on ourselves, right? But what does that even mean, to work on ourselves, okay? You have to keep in mind one thing. You can only change what you are aware of being. But many beliefs are subconscious. So we are not even aware of being anything, of thinking about anything. We just think this is normal, this is reality. We don't think about it. So the first thing that you have to do is to go and investigate. So basically what you do is you take a look at how you react to things, at how people react to you. If you are taking a look at a certain area of your life, such as your romantic life, then write down what is happening. My specific person acts this way. My specific person says this. My specific person does that. Okay, so whatever is bothering you, really. And then you ask yourself, how am I reacting to it? Write it down. Then you go to, are there other people that are reflecting that back to me? Because typically beliefs, they have a tendency to expand to other areas of your life. It doesn't have to be, but typically it is. And then, without any judgment, just as an observer, you ask yourself, if that was a belief, what belief would that be? And it's important to do that as an observer and not as someone who is going through it, because we all have an ego, and the ego has a tendency to stand in our ways and not want to be seen a certain way. But when you are just neutral and you're like, if that was a belief, what belief would that be? Then it's going to be easy to just see it as it is, okay? When you have a list of your beliefs, you write down different statements that basically neutralize that belief. If it is jealousy, then you can write down something like, I am always the one. I am always chosen. people has only eyes for me. I can always trust people. People are always honest with me. And when you have the list of positive statements, what you do is you can script about it, you can visualize, you can create an inner dialogue where you are talking to someone about how, in this case, everyone only has eyes for you, for example. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to go through all of the statements, but take those that are very important for you and create that imaginal act. Okay, when you create an imaginal act and you are present in the scene and you are thinking from the scene or living the end in the scene, what happens is things are going to happen in life, in the 3D, to bring you to that situation where you start seeing yourself that way. That's what we want. The reason why Neville always talked about being aware of your concept of yourself, changing your conception of yourself, is because those beliefs create 24/7. They are creating things automatically because that reality has to make sense, not to what you want, but to the person that you are. So it's keeping the 3D in a way that it maintains your limiting beliefs, okay? It's like a vicious cycle. So you have a certain belief and you get proof that this is this way, so it reinforces the belief, and their job is to maintain reality in a way that it makes sense to you. So if you want to experience something different, you have to die mentally to the state that you are inhabiting this moment. So you are changing your beliefs. You are letting go of the stories. You are letting go of everything that is not suiting you. And you resurrect to that new version of you who is going through the story, who is going through the life, who has the beliefs that to make that reality possible. This is all very well explained in the book The Art of Dying, but I would like to read to you something from this book. I can anywhere so completely detach myself from what is taking place that I can die to that state. So every little death is the lifting of the divine image. This means dying as the mystic means it. It means dying mentally. Man dies to ill health or poverty or to disharmony, etc. But he does it by yielding to the other state. So to die mentally to a certain state, what we have to do is to undergo the same process that awareness, consciousness went through to become us. So basically, consciousness had to abandon its undefined state and define itself as you and me and everything that there is. Okay, so basically the only reason why we are here, defining ourselves as happy, unhappy, lovable, unlovable, abundant, not abundant, in lack, whatever, is because God has decided to forget who it was to become us. To achieve that, what we have to do is to decide that we want to forget who we are. So we want to let go of the old self-concept. We have to get as close as being consciousness as we can, where we are just aware of being. So our mind is basically empty. We are not thinking about our problems, about ourselves, about whatever. We are just aware of being. And in that state, you start redefining yourself as your new version. Okay, you can achieve that in meditation. So to simplify everything, you empty your mind. When your mind is empty, you're not identifying, you're not thinking about anything. That means this is who I am, this is what I'm living through, this is what I'm going through. When your mind is empty, you add the new scene where you are a different person. Whatever it is, an inner dialogue or affirmations or visualization, Just do it to the point that you are 100% present in that imaginal act, okay? You are thinking from that reality. This is who I am. You are thinking from that end. In the Bible it says, nothing is impossible to God. And you are God. You are consciousness. Nothing is impossible to you. Whenever you feel like the reality that you desire is impossible, remind yourself of that. Right now, in this moment, there is a version of you that is living the life that you want to live within you. And that's the reason why you can feel it. You can imagine it. Everything already is, okay? If you can imagine it, you can create it. If you can imagine it, you can have it. Don't focus on your circumstances, on the obstacles. Focus on your power, on who you are and what you can do, okay? Remind yourself of that and manifest other stuff, because the more you see things appearing in your life, the easier it's going to be for you to get to that point where you're like, I have imagined and it has always worked, so it's going to work this time too, okay? That's when you have faith in the process. You don't have to right now trust 100% that you are going to achieve that end. But when you know, whenever I imagine something, I get it, you will know that you will get it. One tip that I have for you is to exercise being present throughout your day. Okay, this is something that we do very rarely. So whenever we are meditating or trying to meditate or trying to visualize and stuff, it can be very difficult because the entire day your mind is never there where your body is. You are always thinking about what you are about to do, or the future, the past, what you're manifesting. When you are present, when you exercise that, whether you are making your bed or cooking or working out, and you are just present at that moment, you keep bringing your awareness to what you are doing. When you can do that, you can manifest perfectly whatever you want, because you can concentrate. You can empty your mind and you can focus on what you're manifesting. If you make this your daily practice, being present in whatever you are doing, think about this, how much freedom you win from that. You are not going to obsess over your desire because you're not thinking about it. You're not going to be thinking about the past or the future. You're not going to suffer for the old story or the future that could be or could not be. You are not going to be dealing and struggling with all of these things. You are so present. You are living your life fully, basically. And while you're doing this, things are happening behind the scenes. Okay, so you are allowing it finally to come to you. Think about this, put it into practice, and remind yourself you can achieve whatever you want. Nothing is impossible. Okay, you can do this. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you like this video, give me a like, subscribe to my channel. We are going to talk soon. Bye, guys.